in quiet stillness. Along the way, the phone's battery stopped at 97% for no clear reason. It was a tiny fluctuation, never meant to be recorded.
I want to start by talking about the things I noticed while thinking about my show's name. I had to think I was standing right in the middle of an empty space all the time. But usually, when people face that kind of space, they give up. So people say that's what's happened to everyone. And then I'm trying to think about the opposite of that empty place, but that kind of things doesn't ever exist, being real art or doubling everything now that's it. Also, I never ran away to stories or looked for the way to be saved. I do not do that, and I cannot do that. But at the same time, it is different from just being an empty place too. I'm not reading toward either side. Before, I thought that was just how it was. I will talk about this more later, but I noticed I've been changing. Since I quit my religion, I thought I was just standing in that empty space the whole time, but I noticed I've been changing during these 7 years, but the basic things do not change. Like I said before, I'm standing in this empty space, but I have not given up myself. I wonder if empty place always means giving up yourself. It seems it is actually different, but that is a question for me to edit not empty place. It is empty place, but maybe it is a little different. I'll talk about that later. When I quit my religion, I threw away all fake pictures, but I didn't feel empty. I didn't run away to look for a way to be saved either. I did not even think about that. But after many years passed, I noticed my future was too dark. I noticed that my life was just for killing time until I die. Because I get old, I feel bad. But even then, I did not run away to look for a way to be saved. I didn't think about it once, though. But I thought, no. And I noticed I was going to a bad place because I was trying to run away to look for a way to be saved. So I stopped after that. I kept looking at the empty place. My mind, it felt like I was looking at it the whole time. When I read that the meaning of life did not change at all, and there is no meaning to life. But so what? Until then, I knew that the meaning of life is just a fake picture made by people. But maybe some part of me still didn't fully believe that there is a thinker who is close to how I think about life. A man said God is dead. His stance is that the world is no meaning, but people should still keep fighting back as people. Things like saying people are great still stay in its thoughts. So it's totally different from me. Even if people say people are great, I do not think about them at all. So here's things like hope or the mind to fight back. It is true that there I have a mind that says I'll live because there is no meaning, but basically there is not it. Alright, it's a stubborn mind, a step to stay alive, roots and doing things again and again. That's all. This thinker said we should look up at the sun, at even on side, the anti-place, but I do that need to look up at the sun. My stance is just to keep running. Of course, the question, but the meaning of life itself is already gone. But it's strange. Usually, when people feel there's no meaning, they go toward breaking things as a bad reaction and looking for quick run or destroying things. But for me, breaking things is the number one thing to avoid. But I think people who give up themselves still hope. I think they can give up themselves because they hope to be exact there. People who feel things might work out somehow. Of course, they must feel bad, but that bad feelings itself is just a story made by people, and they are just putting themselves inside a story, so they still move. People give up themselves still energy left like anger or mind to fight back. I know very well that who I break once, I can never give up. If I break these steps to stay alive or my daily routine, I think I know what will happen. My mind knows it without thinking it will not be a rod breaking down. I see it now. Quick fun breaking down or giving up myself. Well, no saved me. Religion didn't save me either. So many biggest fear is not another rod breaking down, but doing nothing real by real every day. It's my life breaking down, my line disappearing, and myself getting thin and fuzzy. That is what I put my life in every single second. I think I could not have lived this long if I did not do that. This sounds like a dark story, but I am sure that meanings does not exist. But for me, that does not connect to the idea that it is okay to break down. Usually, when people do something and they act because there is a meaning, I also feel a little bit meaning thrown up me just to fool myself, but basically it is different. It just feels like I'm keeping my action going. I do it because it is daily routine. I'm sure the other animals have the same feeling. There is no meaning there, but I am human part to write, so there is probably a fight inside me. But that, of course, I've not become completely like other animals, but like I said before, I'm scared of breaking down, but it's not the usual giving up oneself or that kind of breaking. It is just about not being able to keep my life going. I guess it is because I can somehow see what's happened if I cannot keep it going. I do not clearly, and I do not even think about it. And also, I guess I had a fear of the empty place, or fear but life having no meaning. At first, I was saved by the fact, but I know I will not be saved by hope. I wait to be saved, giving up or running away to quick fun. I know that kind of quick quick breaking cannot be fixed. Luckily, I never run away to alcohol, cigarettes, other religion, or spiritual things. I say luckily or unluckily because I've been home for 7 years. I think this is much better than running away to alcohol or cigarette or causing trouble. I didn't borrow a lot of money from people, and I did not do a crime. Now I'm not scared. The empty place, and that is been my basic stance is a long time ago. Giving up yourself is not the empty place. It is not inside the empty space. It is the darkness and the story when you cannot stand what is real or your feelings. I do not let myself run wild like that. I cannot let it happen. There are people like that, and they cannot stand what is real. A school teacher once said he tore up a note he got from girl. People like that are already putting themselves inside a special story. It is funny that story goes away, and they start writing a story of no hope. It looks like they lost control. I think there is something I must avoid at all, because it is the same for my daily action. When you think of giving up yourself, you say someone tearing a paper and going crazy, right? I control things starting from my action. There are times I want to go crazy though. So when I see writers tearing up paper and going crazy, I think, well, they are really putting themselves inside a story. I guess I'm stopping even the breaking of giving up myself by using rules, but usually when people think there's no meaning to life, that's connect straight to life having no value for me. Whether there is meaning or not is nothing to do with keeping myself alive. So my stance is that there is no meaning, but it's fine for me to live. Especially during my school days, I felt a push and that things need a meaning or a reason. Reasons are fine, but I had a push that meaning is necessary because that I was choosing things very strictly. My choosing what is important is nothing to do with whether it was fun or not. It was only but whether there was a meaning to do it. It was only but whether it was useful, but I could not be that logical, and there was no logical part at all. So when I see people living logically, I get angry. What I tried to do for over 10 years is to keep a low the heat. It is running a low heat. It is not, but doing things with a lot of push, there's bad reaction to that. So the words doing things calmly fit perfectly. By the way, when people talk about the sports player's daily routine, they often say he does things calmly. It is the same things. Yes, some people get quick fun by saying everything is impossible inside the empty place. Or they made a big things out of having no hope. Like I said before, some people would show it breaking down. They put themselves inside it. Some run away to quick fun. Some are happy with their broken selves. Like I said, I cannot do that. I know things become terrible who I do. Who people can see a truly bad situation, who they have the power to see it in their mind, and they probably will not do it. So people will smoke or drink, think they can manage even if they get hooked, who they use their power to see it in their mind and see it truly bad. They probably will not do it. I know I get hooked easily, so I know I should not do it. People who do crimes are probably the same. They do not have a power to see their mind, and they probably do not know how bad things are will get if they do it. When the fact of the empty place was shown to me, well, saying it was shown to me is wrong because that empty place was way to be saved for me. So saying it was shown is a mistake, but I did not go toward quick fun or giving up. I went toward the rules. I keep keeping things going, and low heat. Would you go toward a new way to be saved or new hope? You will not be low heat. So it means accepted that the world is no meaning, saying it in word is about accepting it is hard, no matter how much you explain. It just sounds like a nice story. It just sounds cool. People would wonder if that can really happen. So I do not even have a feeling that the empty place is the absolute truth, or that there is no meaning. Who I had that feeling, I would be happy with it, and it would become a strange belief or fixed ideas. I keep saying it here, so it might sound that way, but I am clearly not happy with the empty place. Usually, when people say rules, they see making themselves better, and that means doing well, getting popular or growing. But for me, it is only from not breaking my life and not letting it fall down. It is not for the future, not for tomorrow, not for the day after tomorrow, and not for right now. There is no reason, but it is funny. People either believe something or they break and go down. The picture is hitting their family, running to alcohol, going to gambling, or putting themselves inside a hobby to run away from what is real by focusing on what is in front of them. It is basically one of the two. There are many kind of doubt, like doubting why you're here. Also, the idea that life is no meaning is famous, and that thinkers know too. But I know that those. It is funny, but people run away to love, play game phrase, singing with friends, or anything during the school days, and they put themselves inside what they like. I was never saved by these things. Of course, I was never saved by you're here. Also, the idea that life is no meaning is famous, and the thinker is too. But I am none of the. It is funny, but people run away to love, play game, praise, sitting with friends, or anything during their school days. And they put themselves inside they like. I was never saved by these things. Of course, I was never saved by human relationship either. For example, my parent or anyone during my school days, including when I was small. Also, I do not have anyone I became close without worry. There's no one I look up to. They are far away, and I do not look up to people close to me. Also, I do not put myself inside or get happy with the anti-press like I said before. That seems common during school days like a young phase. I did not have that. It was not about being saved by fighting back against my parent or being saved by spiritual things, but I must be someone who need to be saved. Unlike others, I'm not understand and many things do not go well, but there's nothing that becomes a way to be saved. It makes me laugh, but religion was the least helpful thing, and religion moved me toward breaking down. I was actually broken. People who think that cannot happen. It did happen. Do you listen to my story so far? You see, I noticed fixed ideas are just stories, and I kept erasing them. I burned out, so my body became a type that does not need a way to be saved, but that does not mean it is a happy thing that I do not have a way to be saved. During my school days, I didn't have rules, but I did not breaking down. Maybe I was just lucky. The reason people live inside the story are fake picture that support them is because looking at the fact that anti-press is very bad for them, and it makes like hard and painful. Believing the world after death is all but that. A king making a huge grave is about that too. Maybe I do not need a way to be saved in the first place. Or maybe my body is already made to live inside the empty place, though it is not a preparation as born with the nature to not break even inside the empty place. Also, when people look at something without moving their eyes, their mind does not move, and they can focus by looking at a very painful fact. It is painful at first, but when you keep looking, you might pass beyond it in that way. I also feel like it's just a person watching artificial belief makes people lose their clear thinking, and they use the story religion to explain things they cannot explain. Religion itself is part that do not much but by believing without questioning, they make things make sense and see this world as a story. I study about religion and that point before, and it's interesting. I forgot a bit. So, all right. So before religions exist, people used all the stories to turn explainable things in a form that makes sense. So they did not need religion. That person said a time might come when religion is not needed anymore because replacement might appear. In fact, it exists not. It is here now. That is how it is. But for me, I did not just lose my clear thinking. I always questioned some believers questioned, but I always questioned. I was trying to believe, but it did not feel like believing. Without questioning, and that is what I was not saved. Religion is, but believing in an end. So whether the teaching is right or not does not matter. It all comes down to believing. I believed, but I was not saved. It is because I did not believe without questioning. So I guess I was looking at the lie of the story of religion itself. Now I'm looking at the antichrist, and before I was looking at the lie of religion. This is hard to explain, but I never feel the open space. Religion's gone. While living, there are times I wanna feel the open space. I think if I believe this, maybe things work out, or while I live holding this dear, maybe things work out, or I can use this as hope, but I firmly believe I must keep the open space open. I have firm belief that I should not feel it, so it is not that there's root for the open space that words are hard, but it is to stop myself from falling apart. It is to keep my line firm. Also, this might sound a bit too cool, but a good state for me is not a happy state, but a state where I do not break anymore. I am not chasing after that either. Now for the next story, when I write English for my podcast, I am worrying about the choice of word. I do not know what kind of word to use. It is not just about whether it is hard or easy, but whether it has value, and if it's and if it's a word people use many times, that is come up many times in conversation or not. Also, it is fit for a Japanese person who speaks broken English to use. That right, it's hard. Why limit it to words that are too easy? It will not get across, but I want to use only easy words as much as possible. I practice pronunciation a lot, so even if there is a word I do not use much, I hate using it just because I need to my perfect self come out again. I absolutely hate doing useless things. I do not know if that is logical or not. Now for the next story, which is a dream in my mind while awake. I do not know whether it is true or not, but why do the adults who were in the region consider seriously? I've been there since I was small. No one would see them in bad way, but if there were such a person, I would tell them I'm the same as you. You guys come to the religion to write. I don't do. How about that? You guys do. But it is religion something everyone shares. No, everyone is totally different. So I was worrying if I should tell them I'm just one of them. I thought that was the main part, to change the subject a bit. People think there are special living things, but every living things has its own features, and there are structures that are different too. Everyone is totally different. Who we are just one are, and that's totally different. There's no way we're special. People think they're a special human feature, then there is just a story of being different from other animals. Other animals have features that are different from other animals too. So I cannot understand why people see humans as special. People think only humans have soul and only humans have meaning to live. When I say this, some might say all animals have a meaning to live, but then questions comes up. But why people only think putting the category of animals have meaning to live? That is strange, and the category of animals was just made by people anyway. I do not know how science defined animals, but people just put them category as they like. But putting them categories as they like also this is a bad memory to but my parents told me to rent my room because they use it for girl. I kept thinking in my mind while I wake up bed what I should have said. I thought about asking my mother, but we do not have anyone with common sense in our house, including me. No one has common sense, so I thought about the thing which cannot make a right judgment, or the renting a room does not happen much. I think it is fine to think that way based on common sense, but I also think saying no is right based on common sense. So I was thinking if I should have said that my parents do not have common sense, so they ask to rent the room. They think it is natural that I rent it. The idea that I have a right to say no does not come to their mind. I do not know if their mind age is young, but along with that, I do not really know. I do not really think my father's mind age is young. He's living things that cannot be judged or named. Now, for the next story, someone I look up to said this too. So I do not really want to say it, but a long way being a short part. To be honest, that person himself might notice something, but this word will absolutely not get across. Saying it is better to take a long way is just a statement where two things do not match no matter how you think about it. What's the meaning by a long way is also a mystery to the person listening. Think about it. Normally, to go to a place, do you take a long way or short path? This is not philosophy, so we normally take a short path in daily life. Someone says the long way, the short path, so I would think that is a short path, and I would think they knew it was a short path from the start. Or on the other hand, if they know it was a long way from the start, why do they choose its purpose? So saying a long way, the short path with a more explanation is absolutely not enough. Also, even if you know a long way is important, you would not choose a long way every time. So it is not, but choosing a long way or a short path, the important thing, I mean, seeing a line like a long way, the short path do not tell anything at all. That's sports players said. Do not just do logical things, do things that are not logical too. That seems to be the meaning from what I heard them But telling someone to do things that are not logical on purpose is strange too. So at that point, that must be the logical things for them. Would people become too logical, they would know it as a bad reaction now. Also, the saying but turning around when you're in a hurry means take a safe path, right? It probably does not mean that. Also, many times it is just result. Looking back later, it was so, and you can say it was a cool line, but at that point, you would not that know what is a short path, a wrong way, or what is safe. It is right now. People basically do not live with just one goal or holding just one thing dear. For example, you set a goal to become rich, right? If it is fine to hold only, and that's dear, you could just make money by doing bad things, but that does not happen. So some people say, once you decide on goal, run toward it. Throw away other thoughts. Think only about that. And it's important to make your wife wait a bit. And the reader, my religion says that too. But there's no way that happens. For example, if you aim for a goal and giving up your family, you might get closer to the goal, and everyone is their own choice of what comes at first. It is natural that things go well. Who you give up other things, but for me, there's something you really wanna aim for, you should give up everything. No, basically that does not usually happen, because giving up everything else is a danger. Anyone wanna stay on the normal world, right? No one wanna be chased because they borrow money from a strange place. Also, no one wanna lose all their money. That this example is a bit big, though. Now for the dinner story, today was fried food again. For some reason, I was making fried food yesterday when my father was not here, and today it's here, but it's yesterday's leftover. It is mystery. I wonder why fresh made is better, right? For the chicken fried food, it was same separate milk, just another kind of fried chicken with garlic, salt, and pepper. So it was delicious, but it is different from the other fried chicken. Strange. Also, the fried fish cake and sweet potato did not have much taste, but they were delicious. Fried food makes the things to eat or the some reason in the morning. Add better and sweet potato and they go well together. I used to potato with better, so I thought that sweet potato and choose sweet from the Hokkaido store might be delicious too. I'm secretly hoping that companies items as well. Also, onion fried food, and there was no plan today, but for some reason, also today's good dish was delicious with perfect taste. It was not too thin, too thick or too sweet. The carrot was delicious, and the white root vegetable too, and the fried fish cake was delicious. Now for the next story, some people say time is a limit, so we should hold it dear, and some say this time right now will never come again. So it is important, but on the other hand, for people who say it is not endless with time or endless, it would not be important, right? But if you think this 1 second right not will never come again, its value doesn't change whether it is endless or not. People who think time is endless say it is important because it is limited, think time is connected. The other side thinks time is not connected. By the way, the idea that everything changes means time is not connected. Also, the idea that daily life goes round forever means time is endless. So the same things come out many times. I thought about what that means, but instead of saying daily life is not important because there is plenty of time, it says that time comes back again because it goes round and round forever. By the way, I have never thought time is important. The reason is there is no useless time, but some people say no time is useless. And my meaning is a bit different from that. Most people would say no time is useless. Actually, 10% of them mean that even if what you are doing now fit useless or like a mistake its meaning, they find the meaning time, but that is not what I think. I think it is the same value. I do not think time is value in the first place, and I do not think this 1 second is important or that that 1 second is important. I think all time the same, so I never think all time is important. People who say time is not useless. All time is not useless, so this time what it feels like it's no meaning. Now, surely read to doing well, and they are forcing strange logic to say that useless time is not more value. During my meal, I noticed today that I eat while using what I see in my mind a lot. Who I get eat thinking this is delicious. It feels delicious, but it is not something I did on purpose. For lunch, tofu, now chicken, it feels totally different from before. For example, if someone tells me this is a special kind of rice, I feel it is delicious. I must be much thinner. That point compared to others, I'm thin. But ever since as I was small, for example, before a needle at the doctor, who I see myself getting a needle in my mind. I feel sick using rice in my mind like that affect that not just my mind and body but my health too. I noticed that during meals I sometimes use what I see in my mind to feel it is delicious. I noticed that, and also while listening to the radio there past where I fall asleep anyway. But I do not listen to it twice. Just because there's something I want to listen to does not mean I can listen to everything. I can listen to many times, and I can't listen to all music either. I have a habit of thinking what meaning there is in doing this. But in the first place, from that story about this time right now will never come again, and time keeps getting taken away no matter what you are doing. So saying it is okay to fall asleep, why I'm doing this, or there is no problem if why I do that, it's just a comfort. Even so, because my nature, I cannot do just anything. I end up thinking if there is the meaning to do this. I think I cannot do all this anyway. this is no need to do it. Next, I often see myself working at my relatives' dance school in my mind. Someone else asked me, don't you get jealous? People likes and dislikes, but for example, you do not really get jealous of a very nice guy in class, right? So I was thinking in my mind or awake about saying I do not really get jealous. Also, some people write fake stories on internet broad, but I cannot understanding that. I thought there is a strange way to look for a sign of being okay. It did not actually happen. So it does not show off that it happened. And it does not show off that you can use what you see in your mind a lot either. You are just lying, so it is just sharing a dream in your mind while awake. If there is a reason to write, I still cannot understand it. Just wanting to bring people together. Maybe it is the same for the question and answer side. I cannot understand people who write. Also, the teacher who gave me a bad memory came out. My dream again today. It is different every time, but the structure is the same. It's nothing but I think to be fair also about my short name before, I would think that's the good idea, but as time passed, I threw it away. I must be getting more and more greedy. Seeing it as a creative activity, having greed might not be a bad thing, but it takes too much time. For some reason, the same part of a video I watched to repeat many times in my head. I did not think it was especially something to remember, but a guest artist was talking very kindly, and that thing comes back many times. It is very annoying, but it's connect to many dreams in my mind while awake from there. It is morning. This is what I thought in the morning. I told my parent not to do final ceremony with the religion, but I did not tell them not to call people who were in a religion. So next time I get angry, I was thinking about telling them absolutely do not call religion people. Since it is my parents, they might find a way around it and do a religion final ceremony, which I hate. Also, I wonder if brother and sister close age do not think anything when they are young. I often hear that seeing as a other sex is bad, but I wonder who that is true. So I was looking it up. The result is obvious. Also, when I was streaming like this, when it's passed away about 30 minutes, I start thinking not many people are listening this long way anyway. So why am I recording? The thought comes up and I keep recording anyway, but it is a bit tough. But summer is coming, until now I used to do strength training or something like that to get ready for the summer heat. I was getting ready before my mind also broke, so I get worried around this time. in the morning, I think about how I was brushing my teeth with sweet dropping before, but really it was okay. That story comes in, but really I cannot do strength training, and thought comes up to try and do it. Also, it'll break my body again. Also, I have not caught a cold really, and that is scary too. I worry I have not built a defense, so next time I catch on, it'll be terrible, which is scary. Last night, it's cold, so it is fair. Also, I was making a note, but my show in a note app, and it seems there was mistake. And this morning too, I did not note down the important things, but note down something else. It was important, but it should have been a first thing to do. I mixed up what comes first and did not save the note, which I felt very bad. But to check if that was really necessary today, 30 minutes, I really used time for the kind of useless time, and time for rise. Also for a town event, sometimes there are things that are way too much for small children, right? I cannot say specifically, but there was the other day too. It looks like nothing but a bad mind really. Or easy. What I want to talk about now is that I am in trouble. It gives me a lot of stress, but the people on the show pass it off rightly. Maybe they can say it rightly.